Hello and welcome to Leashed Dads podcast. We are two dedicated dads that get together to discuss our everyday lives while chained to our parental responsibilities. Good evening. How are you? I'm a bit low on energy.
You're low on energy? I felt like that all day. I mean, granted.
Oh, well, I'm glad I'm not alone.
Typical, right? I guess I was running low on energy in the beginning of the week. Started this week. But I think I'm doing okay. Just kind of did my own thing. Actually trying to almost maybe manage some stress. I don't know. We'll get into that a little later here. As I just want to go kind of over my week here. Thursday, Friday was pretty bland. Actually made cupcakes on like Friday night. Spent hours.
What kind of cupcakes?
Just like an Oreo mix kind of cupcake. Filling.
Ooh,
it was for a birthday party, for Arlo's birthday party, and Sam and I she started making it, letting the kids help around like whatever time. Pulled them out of the oven. You got to let them cool down for like a couple hours. So we ended up going down College Avenue to do some things. For Saturday, we had the birthday party. It was a good time. A lot of parents were also enjoying their time as well. At least the parents that stayed, if they showed up or whatnot. And then Sunday was just more time outside. I mean, this week has been outside, except for today, where it's been rainy. But other than that, Tuesday, or yesterday, celebrated Arlo's actual birthday. It was his 6th birthday yesterday. And we ended up going to Nakashima's, which is like a hibachi and sushi place. Japanese restaurant, basically. And we had hibachi, and it was funny just listening to him ask me, because Mom's threw it in his ear like, ask Dad to take you to Nakashima's. And he was just giggling the entire time while he was trying to ask me. But yeah, that's my week in a nutshell here. It was just, pretty simple. Trying to, like I said, manage stress as well. What about you? I see you have different headphones on tonight.
Yeah, that's leading into my main part of the last couple days or week, whatever the hell, and my lacking energy tonight. I've been on and off. Well, this weekend I was fighting and living in the constant, like, sticking a wine cork in my ear over and over again, and not a wine cork, a wine bottle opener, a corkscrew. There you go. A corkscrew in my ear. It was very painful. I got very little sleep. Ibuprofen didn't help. Eardrops didn't help. It was nasty. I mean, it probably did something, but the pain was still bad. I hadn't felt that since I was a kid, so it was weird. I rarely get ear infections. They're mainly middle ear infections, but I ended up feeling like crap Monday morning. I went straight to urgent care when they opened up, and it's like, you got to give me some antibiotics stat.
Nice.
Because I'm in a lot of pain. He said, I can barely even get my instrument in your freaking ear. Yeah, you need help.
Yeah, way to go. Thanks.
Well, yeah, I can't hear anything out of it, so I would hope there's something wrong. It's still, and then so I felt okay Monday night into yesterday, Tuesday. Yesterday I was still going on and off of the pain and staying on top of ibuprofen, and then today I was doing fantastic until 3:30. I just went downhill real fast, and then all of a sudden my other ear started to hurt.
I
was like, oh, Jesus, come on now. Come on, I need a break. And then as I was sitting there trying to finish up my day, I could hear it just popping. Just
ouch.
Popping. And I could feel it. It was, what the hell? So I'm pretty sure it's something with my sinuses and the inner ear now.
Oh, you're
so, yeah. So hence the stupid, ugly headphones. But I'm not sticking anything in my ear right now. I can tell you that.
That's fair. That's
Oh,
fair.
shit.
I don't blame you at all for doing that by any means, for sticking
Yeah.
anything except for maybe just a scope in there to see what the hell is going on. But
Yeah.
are you on any kind of medication right now? I mean, I know you said you saw the urgent care doctor, and he's like, "You need help." It's like, okay.
No, I mean, I got the antibiotics. I got the liquid ones for your ear, and then I got oral one. But I'm not supposed to take both at the same time, obviously.
Right.
So I have to wait till the liquid ones are gone.
Oh.
So they seem to be doing something, I guess. I don't know.
You seem a little better. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not like rocking back and forth and almost in nausea because I'm in so much pain like I was this weekend. But
Bummer.
so yeah, I'm convinced it's some sort of swimmer's ear thing because I went swimming all those times in the past couple months. But yeah, saw my newest nephew on Sunday. Little baby, he's 6 months, cute as hell, great
Nice.
baby. Yeah, he's awesome. I'm getting ready for the garage sale. We're going through the shit in the basement. We're getting rid of a lot of stuff. Interesting thing. So a little bit about me is that I have this weird fixation with stuff from my childhood. Don't ask because I can't tell you why I'm keeping lightsabers from the late 90s.
I can tell you
In
exactly why.
I don't why.
Why would you get rid of something so fun? Why would
I know.
You could pass that on to your girls and be like, "This is what I played with and swung around at people. Now it's your turn." We tell our kids not to hit people with sticks. Those are plastic sticks essentially, but
and right.
they have more control at that point. Hopefully,
Right, and it's just like I have a collection. I have little collections everywhere. Well, not really everywhere. They're all in boxes. Mind you, they are organized. It's not like they're just strewn about the basement. They are organized in boxes. But I have collections of drumsticks signed by bands.
nice.
I have the lightsabers. I have Pokemon Super Balls with the Pokemon in the middle, which, interestingly enough, are worth quite a bit of money. So instead of selling them at the garage sale, I convinced my wife that I need to do something like go on eBay. Because I'm not selling these items at a garage sale for like $2 a pop or like a buck or a quarter a pop if they're worth 20 upwards.
Yeah.
And we also found a terracotta baking roasting pan pot, whatever. I forgot what the brand is, but the damn things are worth like $45 plus on eBay. So, and she said, well, we're not going to get that at a garage sale. I was like, damn right. We have valuable stuff, and I'm not going to just give it away. That'd be stupid.
I agree.
So,
I mean, this is the time for garage sales too, which is sad because I see last week I saw like 5 or 6 kind of just signs saying garage sales here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness.
yeah,
Oh,
I have
Lord,
a few
help me.
records. I have a few records I'm giving away, or I'm gonna see if the local record shop wants to take them in and try to sell them themselves, or I'll just put them up for cheap.
getting
They're
rid
not
of
worth
records,
anything.
huh?
Yeah, some of them were gifts, and some of them I got from a friend who was getting rid of their collection. Coworker. Unfortunately, they were pretty scratched up, and they have a hard time playing. So if anybody wants them, they can have them for a decent price. But yeah, so just realizing that I have the collections of little stuff. So if I can convince her that I can have a couple collections going. I've stopped collecting Pabst memorabilia to a certain extent. I'm not buying it anymore, but I'm still accepting it if people find it for me, kind of thing.
Right.
And so records, CDs, books, Hot Wheels, and marbles, because I've always loved marbles, and I don't want to get rid of them. And they're not worth anything.
No. Just like,
So-
you know what's not worth anything nowadays? Beanie Babies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really pissed at my mom because there were a few of the Beanie Babies that I had that are worth money now, but she just gave them away way
Well,
back, like
yes.
20 years ago.
There's always going to be
But
special ones that are worth money, but a lot of them, like
right,
people thought back in the late '90s or whatever, like, oh yeah, they'll be worth something in a few years. No, they won't.
yeah, certain ones. And then also, I had the entire Power Rangers action figures with the flip up head and everything
Oh,
else. Those are, the complete collection is worth a couple $100, and she just gave them to Goodwill. It was like, well, those employees got a nice present.
yeah. Well, they got to give them away. Somebody's got to buy them.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm sure if an employee wanted to buy them, they could, but they'd get it at a discount. But yeah, so
Yeah, anybody who wants any Pokemon cards, you let me know. You hit me up. LeashedDads14gmail.com. I'm selling them.
there you go.
Of course, individually and what they are worth, but let me know.
No, that means you got to actually find the price of what they're worth, or take it to a store.
Do I have to get them graded too then?
I don't remember.
A lot of them on eBay have them
You
graded,
probably
and I
should,
think
so you're not.
Shit, that costs money. All right. Well, there's a place downtown that I can go to take them to see.
I'm sure it doesn't cost.
I know I have a few that are worth a lot of money, but not a ton.
All depends on what they look like in the end, if they're in good condition or not. I mean, that's part of the grading. So
Yeah.
I mean,
so
you got to remember there are serious collectors out there. So you
Right.
might want to get them graded, or if people are just looking to collect them and just take them off your hands, they wouldn't care. They could possibly even go get them graded as well. But
right. But for you with your collections, is your Magna or not Magna? Yeah, it's Magna, right?
manga,
Manga. Is that stuff worth anything?
no, not really.
No.
I mean, okay. Let me correct myself. I shouldn't say it's not. I think it all depends on, really the recency. So like some of the older ones, I would say are valuable.
Oh.
But that also depends on if they're, are you looking for it in a set or like the complete set? Because believe it or not, a lot of the manga out there, you could have like maybe one or two volumes, and that's it. So if people are, and those can be hard to come by. I know there are some old ones out there. I think it also depends on the popularity as well. And by popularity, I mean like there's one called Flame of Recca out there. We wouldn't go about actually selling them by any means, because we both enjoy them so much. And when it comes to just finding something to read or occupy our time, that's going to be probably one of the things we do.
Right.
And revisiting those two, we can revisit certainly.
Right, and that's the same with books that you like and adore. I mean, they're not worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at a price of a really good. Well, it's all based on opinion anyway. Yeah. So you could love the book and it could only be worth a quarter, kind of thing,
Right.
And in order to get super serious into the book collecting in general, you'd have to start collecting first editions of really famous literature. And that's I think the only way you're going to make any sort of profit off of collecting books.
Probably.
So,
probably.
Which
but I'm not a big collector / somebody that's going to sell collections like that.
Yeah.
But you're definitely not wrong about the first edition by any means. Anything.
Well, same with vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl is huge. I actually still have some like 45s hanging above my parents, or the room at my parents' house. Or a 45, I should say, of like the Four Seasons, Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
And there it shall stay hanging forever. And I actually got the idea off of one of my friends who had like, I think 10s hanging in her room at one point. Like a collection.
Oh, nice.
Draping over her bed and everything. So I kind of did the same thing. So. But yeah.
I like it.
it was a great idea, and I mean, if you're not gonna sell it, or if you're trying to find a way to decorate your room, take some of those. Not saying, I mean, if you're gonna collect them and try to keep them in decent condition and not expose them to anything like air for a certain time, right? Keep them in the case. Keep them locked away.
Yep.
But yeah, so collections as far, yeah, no. Never plan on selling anything unless I mean, most of the time we just give our stuff away to Goodwill that basically the kids don't use. Speaking of which, the birthday party, right? So Sam and I always dread birthdays or holidays, not because they're good, it's good fun for the children or everything.
Chaotic.
Not even the chaos.
No, not even that.
It's because the kids have almost, I won't say everything they want, but it feels like they already have everything they need, like toy-wise. So all of a sudden, a new like Christmas comes around again, right? Well, all of a sudden the kids have already gotten things they need or already wanted. So now you're trying to find out more ideas, but then on top of that, you're piling more stuff onto them that they don't necessarily need anymore. So now we're just trying to find ways to rummage through it and maybe even pass it off to Goodwill and move on. So I don't think this will be one thing that they ever move forward from or get rid of. I could be wrong, maybe, but they might eventually upgrade depending on their hobbies. But Arlo, for his birthday, this is actually one of my proud daddy moments here, proud moments of the week. Arlo, for his birthday, he's been asking for drones. Like, I want a drone for my birthday.
Like big ones or
just any kind. He's gotten.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't really specific about it, but obviously, from a parent's perspective, and even like grandparents' perspective, you start him off small, especially when he's only 6 years old. And if he really wants to get into it, fine, that's great. He can certainly start getting into it and putting his own money towards it. But maybe to start, he actually ended up getting 2 drones for his birthday. Both are still small, but they're actually pretty cool. So we ended up having fun with the drones for a bit, where we started playing with them, and I even got into it. As sad as it is, I got into playing with the drone. So it's all good fun, and then trying to get used to how they actually do fly and how the controls work. I feel like if he does keep going on with that kind of a hobby for himself, Daddy might get invested on his hobby. So
those are cool. I like those. I never flown one, but they seem really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how often people see them out anymore, but I think one day we went to a park and we actually did see them out and about. Actually, it was on Sunday. We went out to a park, and I think there was a couple people flying some around or something like that. So, and they were the bigger ones, or the ones you buy from a hobby shop, essentially. Yeah, that's my proud moment of the week. The kids are enjoying some different types of hobbies rather than being glued to electronics with like screens, or they're just trying something different as well. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's good. Mine is being more brave with stuff. The girls are more brave with their surroundings and helping each other. For example, I was outside. They wanted something out of the garage, so I just said, okay. Well, I opened the garage door, and they know they have to get it out through the side door because I don't want anything going in between the vehicles, because the vehicles are already scratched to hell because of that. And I said, okay, I'll open the garage door, and you go in and get it and unlock that door, because that's what you want. You need to do that. So, after some talking and somewhat arguing between them, Eleanor grabbed Cora's hand and they both walked in there, and they did what, but after saying they were so scared and they didn't want to, they did it together. So
what's so scary about going into the garage?
There's a lot of spiders in there. Oh god, there's a lot of spiders in there.
I was gonna say, you were out there. I mean, you were doing some work, but you weren't going to go in
No,
there
I was
for
sitting
'em.
reading a book, trying to recuperate.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. So, but yeah, I mean, all right. Let me ask you this then. Just kind of revisiting the idea of you recuperating and having like a double ear infection or a head infection. Uh, Did that put any?
Something.
Did that put any type of stress on you? Not, I mean, besides
Hell
physically
yeah.
draining and everything.
Yeah, well, besides being physically draining, I couldn't sleep, so I was always tired. I ended up passing out on the couch Sunday night at like 7:30 and waking up at 8:30, and I feel bad not being having enough energy, not feeling well enough to help out Natalie. I that sucks because then I just feel guilty about it. And so that's just stressful. Like, I need to recuperate. I need to just relax and forget about shit. But I can't because it's just the guilt. It's in the back of my mind.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so,
So when you get sick,
I don't...
when you get sick, you kind of get stressed out because you feel, again, you
Yeah,
feel bad that you can't help around the house.
right.
I share the pain there. I feel the same way. Um, even though I feel like I won't. I'm gonna be careful when I say this, and I don't mean it by anything bad. When I feel like I am taking care of the kids a lot, all of a sudden I feel bad when I'm not actually helping out or taking care of them
Yeah,
myself, um, or helping keep an eye on them. Uh, not by any means am I saying that Sam doesn't take care of the kids. She does. And it's just one of those things where all of a sudden I feel stressed out too when like, I just feel so bad and that I'm sick or something, and I have to now just have her take care of the kids, rather than doing it as a co-parenting kind of thing.
yeah,
But I know that's kind of what we're going to be talking about here as well a little bit. Tonight is all about managing stress, or that's what we want to talk about. So, giving you those ideas where Jared and I feel like every time we get sick, we feel like we're stressing ourselves out because we are maybe feeling like we're letting our significant others down, or we feel useless when it comes to making sure our significant others are able to do their thing as well. So again, tonight we're going to talk about managing stress here. Leashed Dads podcast, stress of our lives, episode 34. Holy smokes! At least that's what I have. Yeah, episode 34, all about stress. So really, again, I don't think a lot of people think about this. We may have gone through it in school, but what stress is exactly? And this is from the World Health Organization, kind of like their definition here. It's a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation.
sounds
So,
about right.
for example, feeling like crap. You have your head infection or sinus infection or whatever it is. And again, you now in that worry because you feel useless. And
Right.
that's creating a mental tension in yourself. So I mean, that's things there. The other thing I wanted to really talk about too is sickness. Yes, that can cause stress. But I want to actually focus on some other home environment things that may cause stress here. Just a small list that I've come up with, like overcaring, maybe feeling underappreciated. Maybe you're doing too much work. The lack of social engagement, so feeling lonely. So like not having your peers or other family members around constantly. And I'm talking, when I say other family members, I'm talking like your significant other or like your parents or grandparents, cousins, and people of your age essentially, or older that you have that relationship with. Not saying your kids are a bad thing, but just sometimes they're there, like right now. But the conversation isn't always what you need from like
Right.
your children. You gonna say hi?
Yeah, hi.
You gonna say hi? Say hi to the podcast.
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. He says, hello, governor.
I like it. Hey, yo! Hey, yo! You silly baby.
Hey, he's not a baby. He's just bald.
I am bald. Yeah. Yeah. But that's by choice, of course.
It is always by choice, yes. But so those are some things I want you to think about, because with those ideas, like the lack of social engagement, the overcaring or feeling underappreciated, that can lead to stress. And folks, I've recently come to some realization, and this is kind of based on work, but to myself, I'm still trying to figure out what it might be causing myself to be stressed out. Because I don't necessarily know the actual leading factors always, or I'm not always thinking about it. So if you ever are feeling that, start maybe writing down a list of what, something. Because I'm starting to feel a little down here myself. Or I've even talked to like one of my mentor from work. I've told her, hey, I'm feeling like I'm in a slump right now. And she's kind of drilling some questions. She's trying to help me figure out. She's being that person that I could talk to a little bit here and there. But again, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out maybe the root cause of what's leading me to feel slumped, and it might be some stress. But what exactly is causing that stress? I'm yet to honestly figure out the true stress there. So hopefully I can figure that out soon and, bounce back. Now I do have my good days, right? always feel like very positive, but it's just one of those things. So what are your thoughts about some of those things that may cause stress, Jared? I mean, I feel like we talk a little bit about maybe feeling underappreciated sometimes.
Well, I guess there is that. I don't know. It's different kind of with me because I do a lot of self-evaluation and self-work, and I think I've brought it up several times in the podcast already. I talk to myself in the morning. How are you doing? Why do you feel that way? Is there anything that you and I could, that we could work out together to help our day become, be a little bit more productive or be a little bit more cheerful? And a lot of the times it comes down to people pulling at me from all directions, and I have no time for anything for myself. It's just the factors. So I guess I don't feel I'm underappreciated at all. I don't feel that way at all. But I think the too much work, there's just too much that is expected of me, where there are some days where I just want to sit on the couch and watch garbage on the TV, or sit in a dark room and read a book or something. But I can't do that because there are people expecting me to work. There's people expecting me, there's my kids. I'm dad. Dad, yep. I need you. And that's 24/7. And, I feel bad for my wife because she has a lot worse. They are so clingy to her. It's ridiculous.
They're mommy's girls, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think a lot of my problems with stress and feeling run down is, all work, no play makes Jared a dull boy. And that's exactly sometimes how I feel like I am about to snap because I have no time for myself. So I choose to set aside some time during my breaks throughout the day, as well as maybe some lunchtime, where I will do a chore or do something around the house, and then take my meal down to my man cave, my office where I am right now, and turn on some trashy TV while I just zone out and eat my lunch.
Oh, there you go. That's always a good way. And I know you've kind of actually touched on some of that too. I mean, looking at the too much work, and like you said, taking your breaks. That's
that's huge.
I'd say there's a way you're supposed to cope with it. And that's actually something we can definitely talk about. It's a way to unwind. Like you said, you want to find some time for yourself or unwind. Sit down on the couch, be a couch potato at that point. Just really doing that. Never a bad thing. And I believe that taking breaks is key. Taking breaks, unwinding, even practicing your own hobbies. So, for example, if kids are getting into playing outdoors, or, for example, it's an activity, but it's also a hobby of Kane's, wrestling. That would be something maybe to unwind or de-stress a little bit because you're now doing something that you want to do or have been invested in. For me, it might be video games. Now, granted, that's kind of like a double-edged sword because video games can lead to additional stress.
Yeah, right.
It's a stress reliever for one thing, for like work or something, but then it's a stressor for not being able to perform being at your best performance. Or having things not go your way. So, again, like I said, double-edged sword. But maybe that's where I need to learn to take breaks, step away from, as much as, a good example of this, you might be overburdened by media, things of that nature. Take breaks away from news or social media outlets.
No, yeah, I already did that.
Yep, because
I cut out news completely.
Yeah, there you go. Cut it out. I don't even get I don't get stressed out about news or anything going on because I really hear nothing about it. The only time I might hear about something is when Sam shares it from Facebook or some other news outlet. These are all going to be ways to kind of cope with it for yourself, making time for yourself, giving yourself the chance to rest. As you mentioned, you weren't able to rest, over the weekend or something? Are you trying to? Or even last night you had a hard time resting?
Yeah, I was trying to, yeah.
Getting that rest, getting plenty of sleep, so finding time. I get it can be hard, especially when we have children, right? But how are we supposed to do that? We still have to find time to rest. And as much as we don't necessarily want to take a day off, sometimes that's what you might have to do. Take a personal day. I know that's coming up here in the future for us as well. I actually applaud Sam for this. She's going to be taking a personal day, not this weekend, but next weekend. And she's gonna go have some fun. Finally, I felt bad, like I've said in a couple podcasts as well. I felt bad when I do a lot of things, get out of the house, and she's like, "It's okay, go. You need to get out." It's like, yeah, but you need to as well. So she's gonna go do that.
No, that's funny you mentioned that because as Natalie's having one of those days too on Saturday, she's got her cousin's baby shower, so she'll be down in Racine by herself, and I will see her Sunday afternoon for another party. So,
there you go. It's gonna be party. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the kids yet. I've got like a birthday party.
Same.
Too, but I have birthday party for a little bit, and then probably take. I might just have the little one. I probably won't stay for the party. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And then Sunday we're going down to the Dells for the day, which is gonna be fun.
Cool.
So we're gonna go swimming. But yeah, those are going to be some ways to help maybe manage some stress. Get out of your house, do something different, not feeling so cooped up. Because I feel sometimes the home environment does cause a little stress for people. So just be aware of that. If you need to start thinking of something, maybe take some time, write it down, or just like Jared does, self-evaluate. Do something in the morning. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, how are you doing today? Or maybe talk to your significant other or somebody and be like, hey, I need help. Something of that nature.
Yep.
It does not hurt. Now, I did mention lack of social engagement could be a cause of stress. Feeling, like, again, children aren't always adequate conversationalists. So having people that you need to talk to, your peers, family members, these are some tips that parents can take in. I know during coronavirus it was a huge thing where you might have felt stressed because you were stuck in your house all day, every day, not being able to do anything unless you had to go shopping, or you worked out of the house and you were frontline, right? I hate revisiting Corona, even though it's only, because it's only been 3 years. But at the same time, it still played a vital role, and it actually caused a lot of stress for people. But at that time, people were starting to adapt and finding ways to still be in touch with people rather than just being on the phone. They have those, Microsoft Teams or, for example, other ways to video chat, like Skype, good old Skype. Do those types of things. That way you reduce the amount of how lonely you feel from time to time, knowing that you're still with people. I won't say it removes it by any means, because it may not always remove it, but it will assist or reduce the amount of loneliness or the isolation feeling you may have, knowing that you're finally able to connect. What are some other things for parents that you would consider?
Or what?
Like
for parents. Oh,
to help parents manage stress, because actually, believe it or not, there is something like tips and tricks for children as well to help you.
Well, I'd like to touch on your point with the corona as well as social engagement. That really depends on the type of person, especially if you're an introvert. I would be just fine talking to nobody else but my kids and my wife for months on end. I'm dead serious. There's just something about there's something about the predictability and the comfort of a conversation that I know the outcome of. I don't know. I've just lost something in myself that I've been comfortable talking to strangers. I hate small talk with a huge passion. Because it's not what I want to talk about. And I don't want to talk about sports or the damn weather or, stuff happening in our cities or the state or politics. I really want to talk about, stuff like this, managing stress. Ask a person, how are you doing these days? And not have a stupid answer like, oh, I'm great. And no, deep down they're not.
Yeah, kind of lying
because... Exactly, because I've been doing that for years. And people, because you're expected to be good. You're expected to be this bright, happy, cheery, awesome person. But that's not always what people are feeling. And that also is a causer of stress, as to parents as well, to go back to that. Because I don't think you want your kids to know how stressed and beat down you really are. Do you?
Yeah, not really. I mean, because you don't want them to feel like... Because I think there's some backlash at that point, too. If they know you're stressed, they might feel the blow a little bit or feel like they're part of the burden. When really your kids aren't supposed to be that burden at all, right? They're supposed to be, your children... They're supposed to be children, for crying out loud. They're not supposed to have to worry about trying to take care of you. Now, granted, yes, they can be there to talk to. They can be like an outlet. Have that fun with your children or your kids, right? By any means. That could be another way to deal with it. But yes, as a parent, you try to hide that from them. Now, I would say it can be hard to hide from a young child, like a toddler or an infant, for example, because they, for some reason, have that very, very deep connection or sense. It's like I'll call it like a sixth sense at that point, where they can actually pick up on how you actually feel, even though you're showing, you might be showing a second, or hiding it, trying to hide it the best. So I don't know. It's very interesting in how they can do, but they don't necessarily understand what is causing it or why. So
yeah, and another I think factor of stress from parents, especially with our leashed. I'm not saying this right. Especially us leashed parents Jesus. Okay, I'm out. I'm done. That we are so close to our kids that we don't want to take the afternoon, every Thursday afternoon or every couple, a weekly schedule of going golfing or playing tennis or, taking time out for ourselves to do stuff for ourselves when we have kids at home that are wondering where mommy and daddy is. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have kids that are okay with being by themselves and you've put in you put in your years, they are, in their older years and they don't really need to rely on you that much anymore, please, by all means, do that stuff. I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying for Justin and I and other parents who have littler kids, it becomes more of a mental challenge that I really want to do something else, but this child needs me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather not pass them on to somebody else because that somebody else is not their blood. It's not their parent. But if you're comfortable with that, please, you do you. But I'm telling you, psychologically and mentally for your children, it's better, especially if they're in a good environment, a loving, caring, nurturing environment, that it's you providing that type of attention to your kids. And it's the constant that's what's expected of us parents that also can be a stress. Because, again, you might have days or weekends where you're in a lot of pain and you can't accurately show that love and affection.
Yeah. Been there, done that, and I feel bad. Even when I have to rely on my parents to help me out in that regards. Because it's like, they've done their time.
Yeah.
They spent granted, they'll be parents for the rest of their lives. Right?
Yep.
I'm going to be a parent for the rest of my life. But at that time, it's like, knowing that, I'm sure they would always be willing to help out, or they are willing to help out, and, happy to do it, right? It's like, I hate having you do that when I know I could still be capable of doing it, even though I'm down. But I think it's also just easier sometimes. Not saying I'm trying to be a neglectful parent by any means by asking somebody else for help. It's just I'm trying to do what is best for myself. That way I can do what is best for my children. So, there's one other thing I did want to touch on, though. Because as much as we're talking about parents and being stressed, I want to just kind of cover something about managing stress for children. It's like teens or just children in general, okay? So...
Yeah. Ugh.
We may not always know it, and children may not always know it, but they certainly struggle with finding ways to cope with stress. Mm-hmm. So, what you need to do, or what, is kind of a recommendation here when you talk to your children, is reassure your child or children about their well-being. Let them know they need to, take a break. And I kind of observed this yesterday. Arlo was playing in a bounce house. He was getting a little frustrated with things. I had to pull him out of the bounce house because he was going to start taking his anger that was building up out on the wrong people. Not saying anybody's really a good person to take your anger out on, but the way he was going to go about letting out the anger was just not right. And it was kind of, anger is part of stress. You're becoming irritable. So you're stressing out about something that's not going your way. So I had to pull him out, had to let him sit down and kind of just do that. Don't tell them bottle up their feelings. And this has been a mistake that I know there's probably going to be some hate out there. And I guarantee it. Men, you don't need to bottle up your damn feelings. You're going to teach your children that too. That's going to cause some stress. Let them be comfortable with sharing their feelings. I am working on becoming comfortable with sharing my feelings. Sharing your feelings is not a weakness, folks.
Yep. That's part of that happy-go-lucky bullshit that I was trying to get at earlier.
Yes, it is a happy-go-lucky attitude. It is the shittiest type of attitude to have, honestly, because eventually you're going to have this bottleneck effect and you're going to take it out the wrong way. All right? As much as you say, I've talked to some other parents as well. that have had some anger issues, and they've figured out the way to cope with it as an adult. Like, they were sharing stories. They have told me when they were a kid, they had their anger issues, and they took it out the wrong way. They didn't learn how to cope with it properly until they were an adult. And doing they're parenting. That's rough. To me, that's personally rough. And he's, this guy's a friend of mine. Neighbor as well. But it's just, I learned this recently. Not saying he's taking any anger out on his child or children by any means. No. But it's like, to learn how to cope. I'm not saying his parents were bad. I don't know his parents. But we don't always learn how to cope properly. So that happy-go-lucky mentality as parents, please change it. Please don't you have to be willing. I know change can be hard. Especially when it's change to yourself, your routine or whatever. Oh, speaking of which, routines. Keep a normal routine. That can help reduce your stress.
Yeah.
But anyways, allow your children to share your feelings or share their feelings. Know that you connect with them on those feelings too. And that's why you want to reassure them about their well-being, but as well as talk with them, connect with them. Use resources that are out there. There's the crisis lines, even teachers, things of that nature. Parents, connect with teachers if you notice something's going on as well during school, or teachers notice something. You need to share it so everybody can be in a collaborative measure at that point, rather than just like, oh, yep, it's going on, blah blah blah, we're handling it. No, you need to come together so everybody can be on the same page and work with the child that's having these issues. That's what I wanted to talk about. Jared, any other things you wanted to talk about?
Look, I think everybody listening to this, we all know what stress is. We all know how it affects us, or at least I hope we know how it affects the surroundings around us. That was redundant, but I don't give a shit. Like, again, I can't talk tonight.
Feel like that every day.
Yeah, so let's come together and just be human. I mean, we can't continue this. How you doing today, Jimmy? Oh, I'm great, man. And then really you're dying inside. Let's unnormalize that. And then for all these people that sit there and make fun of the people with feelings, don't sit there and lie to me and say that you don't have any other feeling but happiness. Because then you're not human. You're a robot. Congratulations, you're a freaking AI. And you're obviously ignoring something if you're sitting there saying, yeah, I'm happy all the time, bro. Yeah, stop whining. No, shut up. You're a robot. So let's come together with your family, some close friends, maybe feel out some other acquaintances to see how they take it, and just try to ask somebody, how are you really doing? Like, are things going the way you planned it? Are you having time to yourself? Are you providing a nurturing, loving relationship with your family and kids? Let's talk. Because that's all we can do is talk.
If you don't feel like sharing it, I mean, granted, the happy-go-lucky mentality, right? It's always going to be there. Even if I ever say, Jared, how are you feeling today? You're probably going to be more truthful with me because you trust me. So I'm just going to cover that a little bit too, briefly. You're probably going to share your true feelings with somebody you really trust or can trust, whereas, a stranger or like a coworker of yours asks you how you're doing, and you only talk to them just daily because you work with them, but you don't do anything with them outside of work. You're probably not going to actually tell them how you're really feeling, unless you guys are in a group project and it's affecting how they work. But that's what I wanted to say. If you want to share those feelings, by all means, let's break that happy-go-lucky mentality here. Get it out of the norm, as it's not really a great norm, and it never has been. Just people have always had it ingrained that guys need to be tough, and that's the way to be tough. You want to be tough? I challenge every parent, father figure, male, to start sharing their damn feelings. That's tough.
Yep.
But anyways, I wanted to share that. Let's, bring some fun into here. As much as we talk about managing stress, I have a coping mechanism here for us tonight. I've got a child booing me right now.
Does he know any jokes?
Boo.
Do you know a joke?
What?
I don't know. I'm asking. Do you know a joke?
Yeah.
Come here. Speak into the mic and tell the joke.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Ghost.
Ghost who?
Ghost. Geeky.
That's adorable. Over my head again,
Yep, that's all right. So, I have found some material about stress tonight, managing stress.
I have another joke.
Oh, then you can share it after this one, okay? My wife is stressed out about not being able to leave the house or socialize. And now, with this coronavirus thing, more stress.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, here. What did one guitar say to another guitar when it was feeling stressed out?
What?
Hey, man, don't fret.
Nice.
You had another joke? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Share your joke. Say it.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Nee.
Me who?
I thought you said knee, like in Monty Python.
Oh,
Did I just say
no.
knee?
He
No,
doesn't
he's
know
not
Monty
seen that.
Python.
No.
All right. Last one here. Why was the meteorologist so stressed?
Of all the falling stars.
The job is full of high pressure.
And low pressure.
Job is full of pressure. That's all we need to know.
Yep.
All right, well, guys, that's episode 34, Stress of Our Lives. We're going to talk about managing your stress. We had a wonderful guest here, joke guest, named Arlo, the 6-year-old. He'll be here next week. Actually, I don't know. I have him all day, every day, 24/7, whatever. One of my joys. But that is it. Again, follow us, YouTube, Leashed Dads, Facebook, Leashed Dads. Email us. Let us know if you have any interesting stories that you want to share, or if you want to be a guest. Again, let us know. You can send us anything on leasheddads14@gmail.com. Facebook, YouTube. Leave comments if you like. You can even do that, or you can DM me on Twitter, even TikTok as well. But with that being said, guys, thank you again. We appreciate all the support, and keep up those views. Have a wonderful night.
See ya.